Royal Family Secrets, the forbidden love that changed history forever channel. History in the Shadow, welcome back to another explosive episode of History in the Shadow. I'm your host, Khalid, and today we're diving deep into one of the most carefully guarded secrets of European royalty, a forbidden romance that nearly toppled kingdoms and changed the course of history forever. The story that royals tried to erase. Picture this. It's 1923. And while the world was recovering from the devastation of World War I, a secret love affair was brewing in the shadows of European palaces that would make even the most dramatic Hollywood movies seem tame. Meet Princess Margareta of Romania. The rebel royal Princess Margareta wasn't your typical royal. Born in 1895, she was known for her fiery spirit, her love for motorcycles, and her complete disregard for royal protocol. But what the history books don't tell you is about her secret double life, and the man who would become her forbidden obsession. The mystery man, Captain Alexei Volkov. Here's where our story gets interesting. Captain Alexei Volkov wasn't just any ordinary soldier. He was a Russian exile, a former imperial guard who had fled the Bolshevik Revolution with nothing but the clothes on his back and a heart full of secrets. What made him dangerous wasn't his past. It was what he knew about the royal families of Europe, and more importantly, what he was willing to do with that information. The clandestine meeting in the autumn of 1923, during a diplomatic reception in Vienna, Princess Margareta's eyes met those of the mysterious captain across a crowded ballroom. What happened next would change everything. Instead of the typical royal courtship, filled with chaperones and formal protocols, these two began a passionate, secret correspondence that lasted for 3 years. But this wasn't just any love affair. Alexei possessed something that made him irresistible to the princess and incredibly dangerous to the crown. The secret that could destroy kingdoms. Captain Volkov had been present during the final days of the Romanov family in Russia. He had witnessed something that contradicted the official story of their execution. Something so explosive that it could have destabilized not just the Romanian throne, but several European monarchies. The secret? One of the Romanov children had survived the massacre at Ekaterinburg. The forbidden romance intensifies as Princess Margareta fell deeper in love with Captain Volkov. He began sharing these dangerous secrets with her. Their secret meetings weren't just about stolen kisses and whispered promises. They were planning something that would rock the very foundations of European royalty. The princess, using her royal connections and access to classified documents, began helping Alexei gather evidence to prove his claims about the surviving Romanov. Their plan was to present this evidence to the international community, which would not only vindicate the captain, but also expose the cover-up that several European royal houses had been part of. The palace discovers the truth by 1926. The Romanian royal intelligence had begun to suspect the princess's unusual behavior. Her frequent charity visits to Vienna, her secretive correspondence, and her sudden interest in Russian imperial history raised red flags. When palace investigators finally uncovered the truth about her relationship with Captain Volkov, they discovered something even more shocking. The princess was pregnant with his child. The royal cover-up begins. What happened next was a masterclass in royal damage control that would make modern PR teams jealous. The Romanian royal family, working in coordination with their European cousins, orchestrated one of the most elaborate cover-ups in royal history. Princess Margareta was quietly sent to a remote castle in the Carpathian Mountains, officially for health reasons. Captain Volkov simply vanished one night from his Vienna apartment, along with all the evidence he had been collecting about the surviving Romanov. The child that never existed. The princess gave birth to a son in the spring of 1927. According to official records, this child never existed. But here's the twist that will blow your mind. The baby wasn't sent to an orphanage or killed, as you might expect from such a dark royal secret. Instead, he was raised by a loyal Romanian family, given a completely new identity, and grew up believing he was the son of minor nobility. The child lived a normal life, completely unaware of his true parentage, until decades later when a deathbed confession would reveal the truth. The captain's fate, as for Captain Alexei Volkov, his disappearance remained a mystery for over 50 years. It wasn't until recently discovered documents from the Romanian State Archives revealed that he had been secretly imprisoned in a remote fortress in the mountains, where he spent the rest of his life under house arrest. The most heartbreaking part? He spent those decades writing letters to Princess Margareta and their son. Letters that were never delivered but were carefully preserved by his guards, who had grown to respect the broken man who never stopped loving. The princess's sacrificed Princess Margareta returned to royal duties in late 1927, and the official story was that she had recovered from a nervous condition. But those close to her noticed the change. The fiery, rebellious princess had become quiet, melancholy, and devoted herself entirely to charitable work. She never married, despite numerous royal suitors, and spent the rest of her life secretly trying to locate her son and her lost love. Her private diary, discovered only recently, reveals the depth of her pain and her lifelong regret over choosing duty over love. The modern-day revelation here's where this story becomes relevant to today. In 2019, a 92-year-old Romanian gentleman named Constantine Popescu made a shocking deathbed confession to his family. He revealed that he was actually the secret child of Princess Margareta and Captain Volkov. His family initially dismissed this as the confused ramblings of an old man. But when they began investigating, they discovered documents, photographs, and even some of those undelivered letters from the captain that proved his claims were true. The evidence that changes everything, the most compelling evidence, came in the form of a locket that Constantine had carried his entire life, believing it was from his adoptive grandmother. Inside was a miniature portrait of Princess Margareta and an inscription in Russian that read, "For our son, with eternal love, M.A." DNA testing conducted on Constantine's descendants has reportedly confirmed royal lineage, but the results have been sealed by legal proceedings initiated by the remaining Romanian royal family. The bigger picture of this story isn't just about a forbidden romance. It's about how royal families have consistently rewritten history to protect their interests. The cover-up of this affair also buried the truth about the surviving Romanov, and to this day, the evidence that Captain Volkov gathered remains missing. What makes this story even more significant is that it reveals the extensive network of cooperation between European royal houses when it comes to protecting their secrets. The same methods used to cover up Princess Margareta's scandal were later employed in other royal controversies throughout the 20th century. The question that remains the most intriguing aspect of this entire affair is that it suggests there are still undiscovered royal bloodlines living normal lives across Europe, completely unaware of their true heritage. How many other secret children of royal affairs are out there, and what other explosive secrets are buried in palace archives? That's all for today's episode of History in the Shadow. This story shows us that even in the most privileged circles, love and politics create the most dangerous combinations. But here's the question I want you to think about. If you discovered you were the secret descendant of royalty, would you want to claim your heritage and face the consequences, or would you choose to live your normal life in peace? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because next week we're diving into another royal secret that involves a missing crown jewel and a scandal that reaches all the way to the modern British monarchy. Until next time, keep questioning the official story. I'm Sarah Mitchell, and this has been History in the Shadow.